Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I'm checking the price of Bitcoin real quick. Check this out. We have a break above the ascending triangle. So I just wanted to bring that update. Probably you already all know, but um, if I stretch out the triangle a little bit more, it doesn't seem like it would be finished yet, right? Doesn't it seem like it would need to do this and then break out? It kind of broke out a little early for me, but who knows? Maybe that's a good thing, right? Just be, cautious of this, right? A pullback of some sort. Um, if not, then maybe a pump a little bit higher, come back down, back test the top of the breakout, and then continue higher. So where can this thing go? Well, the measured move approximately is right about, let's see here, it's about 49K, about 49K ish. So still got a ways to go. If it's going to meet that measured move of that target there. So other than that, looks pretty good. Obviously, right, if we do the trend-based fib extension, and let's see if I pull it from here to here, back down to here, I would look about that 47, 46K area. So just letting you know, if I pull it back down here to here, still about that 47K. So yeah, I would look for 47K if this thing is going to confirm it. So I've said in the other video, I think this is some type of wave 4 correction. So something like this, where this would be your first wave, right? All that's wave 3. This is wave 4, and now we're heading up into wave 5. So so this could be like a 1-2, 1-2, and now we're in the third wave. 4-5, 4-5, something like that, somewhere around this 47, 50K area. And then that's the big thing. What happens there, right? So that's the big question. So if we can get through that, then that would be remarkable. Remember, we still have that Bitcoin ETF news, right? I would think that would do more harm than good. At the end of the day, yeah, it would cause a big pump, perhaps, but it's usually buy the rumor, sell the news. So when the news comes, that's the sign to sell, but then that's when retail buys in. So if you're seeing this pump before that ETF news, maybe it comes, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. I think it has a good potential of coming because I've always said the Bitcoin ETF is just a repackaged Bitcoin product as a security, a instrument used by central banks for more manipulation, more control, more everything, right? They don't want people out there buying Bitcoin. They want people buying the Bitcoin ETF. Why? Why don't they want people buying the real thing? Because why would they want that? They don't benefit from it, right? So you sell it as a security, then they do. So we'll see what happens. No predictions here, but like I've said, I think this is some type of wave 4, and this is a wave 4, and now we're heading up into a wave 5. So how high will wave 5 go? Your guess is as good as mine. We'll just keep tracking it and see. But then the thing is once we reach that target, 4750 area, so it's nice to see it's pumping, right? I mean, if you look at the 2-day chart, we got a nice engulfing candle. So I do see more upside coming. This pivot right here, that's that liquidity point. So I'd imagine that we hit that at some point and even break it, right? So a lot of retail traders are looking at this this area right here, right? So looking at that as resistance, But remember, resistance is meant to be broken, and when it does break, that's when liquidity pours in, and that's when they usually might sell it, right? So we'll see. I hope it doesn't. I hope it continues to go. And then when it does, hopefully, consolidation. And once we get that consolidation, boom, that's when the altcoins follow. So this is good for altcoins. You know, what's good for Bitcoin is good for alts. If the altcoin isn't moving at this exact moment, it's because they usually don't. Remember, Bitcoin always goes first. Once Bitcoin goes first, and then it starts to chill out and consolidate with the bullish posture, that's when the altcoins randomly start popping off. So if your altcoin isn't doing it now, it's because it's probably gearing up to do so later. So we'll see what happens. But to me, from an Elliott wave perspective, I look at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I look at this as an A, B, C, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're getting that fifth wave. And then what would that be? What would that be? Well, this is a 5, a 3, and a 5. So what is that? What is a 5, 3, 5? Well, that, my friends, is a ABC. So we have an A, this is a B, and now we're working on C. And what is an ABC? It's a bearish correction, right? Well, it's a bullish correction, but more so bearishly. So, like I said in my other Bitcoin video, I am bullish, but I'm treating this as a retracement, right? Just like how this is a retracement. So we have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, blast off. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, blast off, right? So same thing here. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, blast off. So that's, I mean, if we want to break new all-time highs, I think that's coming, but I think it might take some time. Now, the thing is, if we are extremely bearish, it would be A, B, C. And then we come all the way back down here, right? So a lot of bears obviously are expecting that, right? But if you're a bull, you'd still want a down move for reaccumulation, because this is nothing more than a retracement. Now, if the retracement goes sideways like this and then breaks out, this would still be reaccumulation, but it would be like a bullish posture, just like, not this time, but back over here. So you can see here, you have that first accumulation, the second accumulation, and then the final reaccumulation, right? So obviously this was treated as a bull, right, or a rise, a crash. This was a retracement, but the retracement turned into reaccumulation in here. All of these three steps were reaccumulation. So that could potentially be what's happening here, taking everything off the screen, basically looking at it like this here. 1, 2, and now we're going into 3. But remember the last video I said we probably have another hit to the high, right? So something like this. If it was going to compare itself to the 2015 fractal, it would do something like this, where it would come up here, then it would just chill out a little bit. See this orange band in here? That's the bull market support band. So the band comes up, the price meets with the band, and then the price continues breaking out into new all-time. That is probably my most bullish scenario. Now, obviously, it could just continue to rocket into new all-time high, and I would be like surprised. I would be obviously pleasantly surprised. But from a probability standpoint, I don't think that's the case. I think we have some work to do. We have to work this out. This was a major bear market. And when you have a major downtrend, a bear market, you have to work through it. You have to work through all of it, right? So you're working through it here, you break out. You work through all of this in here, then you break out. Then you work through all of this, and then you break out. You're cutting. It's like think of a retracement as cutting a piece of meat with a dull knife. It's kind of hard, right? I mean, and it's tricky, and you got to use some force, and it takes more time than if you were to use it with a sharp knife, right? So that would be the bullish scenario, and just putting it side by side, you could see here. So side by side, you can see it just like this right in here. So so we're on that third base, right? 1, 2, 3. We're on that third base. And what happened on this third base? Well, if we zoom in, what happened? We entered the base, we got a little bit higher, and then we pulled all the way back to the bull market support band. We tested the band, tested the band, tested the band, and then boom, we blasted off, right? So I can actually take a little bit of a bars pattern, a fractal if you would, and just do this, right? And then take it on over here, and just to give you a little idea of what we could be dealing with here. So something like that, right? Which basically means we would still have to come down and retest, or I should say backtest the top of this. I still would like to see that, because this was a big area in here. This was a 6-month, I believe, base. And we broke out of that base, but we never came down to backtest the base. But this fractal right here suggests that, yeah, that would be the case. And you can see if I draw a line right here, it's not perfect, but right there, you could see some touches there for a back test, right? And then, so that would be the big key, right? That is the key to unlocking the mystery. If we can have a successful back test of 3031K, then it's on. If we break below, then it's still on, but it tells me we're going to a deeper reaccumulation phase, right? It doesn't mean we're going to break this low, right? Like a lot of people think. We're going to break the low and go down to 10K. Yeah, that's possible. Like I said, that would be the A, B, C, right? And we're in the B wave, and the B wave is an A, B, C itself, right? So you have to wait and see how she reacts. First of all, let's see if we continue to pump, which I think we have a good shot, right? Because the better chance of pumping is this right here. We go sideways, build a base, we can break out. But not break out too high, just enough. Consolidate again, break out again. Consolidate again, break out again, right? But we need that consolidation. We haven't got it yet. Now, is it possible that we don't get it and that this is a second base, right? So basically, in other words, it's possible that we have 1 and 2 bases, and that's it. That's all we need, right? That's all we need, and we are ready to go and start, breaking out, challenging these all-time highs. If we can get up here, sort of bull flag out of here, and then go, right? That would be an incredible thing. And honestly, when we were down here, I was not expecting that. What I am expecting, and what I have been expecting since all the way down here, was a retracement. Why? Because we always get a retracement, right? There's got to be a retracement of some sort. This was a major, like I said, this is a major down bear market. You need some sort of counter move. Either that counter move turns into reaccumulation and then we go, or the counter move turns into just a retracement, then we come back down, then we go, or the retracement turns into something of a more bullish situation where we continue to grind and work our way out of here. So maybe this is more bullish than we think it is, right? I think because I'm a conservative person. I'm not a moon boy, right? Although I would really love to be at the moon right now, right? I hope, pray, wish for the moon every day, every night, but that doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. Try to be as conservative as I can with my expectations, because I'd rather have my expectations be small and overexceeded than tremendous and then let down, right? So the conservative side of me says, hey, we got to pause out a little bit here, at least for a few months, and come back down and retest the top of this resistance, which, by the way, if I bring it all the way over here, right, you have this right here. You have all of this, right? You have this here. And then you have all of this, right? So what do you think is going to happen? Potentially come back down and retest it. Now, that's the make it or break it line, right? If we can hold that line, then we would have a much shorter reaccumulation phase. Two things would happen. I look at two possibilities if we break that line to the downside. Number one, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, we break the line, right? Then we go sideways, then we break out. Something like that, right? Like, for example, XRP, I've showed this before. Now, people can say, how dare you compare XRP to Bitcoin? I'm not comparing the asset, I'm comparing the chart. All charts have some sort of resemblance regarding whatever, Elliott wave, whatever you want to look at. But here you go, rise, crash, retrace, then we come down, then we go sideways, and then we go off. So going back to Bitcoin, now you can have a mixture of something like this, or you can have a mixture of something like this, or a mixture of both, which is a good possibility. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to guess which one it is. All I'm doing is trying to provide the options, the available ideas of which one it could be, so that when the time comes, we can start ruling out what it isn't, because that's what it's all about, is ruling out what it's not. It's not trying to guess what it is, it's ruling out what it's not, right? So again, if we break that line, like I said, we have rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, blast off, right? Or if we break the line, it would be A, B, and then we break the line, we come down even further, we break this too, and then we come down and back test 14K, 10K area, and then we go up. All of them say 100,000 eventually. The difference is when, right? Everybody wants to know when. Well, I just gave a few different ideas, right? None of those ideas tell you when, but all of those ideas tell you in what order comes the win, right? So, yeah, so we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't know which one it's going to be. It's easy to figure out bull runs. It's easy to figure out accumulations. It's more difficult to gauge a downtrend, and it's pretty hard to locate a bottom, but not impossible, right? Not the very bottom, but the way you know a bottom is 5 waves, right? Elliott wave. Just think about Elliott wave. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. There's 5 waves. So when we had that 5th wave, everybody said, no, more down. We got to go down more. But wait a minute, we just had 5 waves, right? And then after the 5 waves, you have an A, B, C. And what happens after that? Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. Now this 5 waves can come all the way down here, right? Or it can just, chill out here and then start to, consolidate and then start to, break out. So, and another way you can tell is divergence, right? So if you have divergence from the 4th and the 5th, I don't have my RSI up, but if I pull it up, you see how you have divergence there. See how this is how you can buy the bottom, and this is why TA is important. So here's the 4th and here's the 5th. But look at this. This is a low and this is a lower low. But look at this. This is a low and this is a higher low. See how this line's going down, this line's going up. That's called bullish divergence between the 4th and the 5th. So right there was your signal to buy. Boom, right? So when we were there, I was like, okay, we got to have a retracement, which we did. Now, that's the easy part, is knowing, okay, the retracement is here. The hard part is where we are now, is trying to figure out, do we get through the retracement levels or do we come back down and into reaccumulation? So that's the tricky part, right? So if I put this on, I think this is on, nope, that's right there. Yeah, so the big thing for me is this right here. If we can break that, then I'm like, okay, a new all-time high, very, very possible. But anything in this vicinity is danger. Even though most people are what? Bullish, right? The more people who are bullish, the media and the Bitcoin ETF and all the hype and everything, all at the retracement levels, that's what's concerning to me. It doesn't mean we're gonna die, right? It doesn't mean we're gonna do boom, boom, and then come down here. Obviously, it's possible, but it's not fair to talk about it until the time comes and we start breaking this. If we start breaking 25-30, or better yet, 27 to 31, if we start breaking below 31, 30, 29, 28 with weekly candles below that, then I'm still not saying we're going to die. I'm still saying, okay, now we can rule out the ultra bull and we can go to the second phase, which is what? Which is reaccumulation, right? Just like back over here. You can see how you have this sort of sideways action going on, right? It's not perfect, but every structure is going to look different, but they all have similarities. And basically you have a rise, which is number 1. You have a crash, which is number 2. You have a retracement, which is number 3. And then you go down, right, which is number 4. And then you kind of go sideways, which is number 5. And then you blast off, right? So where are we? Well, we could be somewhere right in here. So we still have to go up a little bit more, then down, then sideways, then go, which would suck, right? But hey, it is what it is. But look at this. That's why this was like so concerning, right? Because everybody thought, hey, we're going to probably break this low. But all we did was back test the breakout zone pretty perfectly, right? So accumulation, breakout, back test, blast off. So that's one way you can look at it. Another way, like I said, is back down here, where you sort of have this little miniature retracement. This A, B, C, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we just started grinding out until we broke this area. Then we got parabolic. So your guess is as good as mine. I'm not sure. I'm just giving you the ideas. So if I had to make my best guess, I would say this right here, a mixture of this and a mixture of that. And how would you think about that? Well, the 2014, right? This, right? First base, second base, right? And look at that, third base. And what's after third base? Home. Think about it like baseball, right? We're almost home, baby. We're almost home. So, but, that's this one, comparing it pretty much the same. Now, where does the mixture of this one come into play? Well, I think it would be a little bit deeper and a little bit longer. So, again, I'm just guessing here, but my best guess would be a little bit higher, probably 47.51, then come back down, retest the bull market support band, back test 31K, right? And then maybe a flash crash, a dip to the low, kind of like, C19 over there, and then a continuation to the upside. So kind of like a bull flag type of thing, like a waning type of thing. Now, we'll know more as the days go on, because if it's sideways versus slanting versus ascending, which one you think would be the best? Well, I would say between these two. If it starts rising, that would tell me we have much more down to go. So, any way you look at it, I think we are, from a hodler perspective, we are in good shape, especially right now. I mean, we are knee deep in the retracement level. So, like I said, we just got to wait and see what happens. But one thing I really would like is a retest of this 31K area, and if not that, then a retest of this bull market support band, right? If we can, here's the thing, if we can back test the bull market support band without having to retest 31K, with continuing to have sideways consolidation, just like back in 2015, 2016, then, man, that's going to set us up for some interesting stuff, because a lot of people doubt all-time highs, and I gotta be honest, I'm one of them. But I'm starting to think, I don't know, it could definitely play out that way. Now, when I say all-time high, I'm talking immediate all-time high, right? Not talking about rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, this sideways stuff in here. So you could see the difference. So, for example, this base right here is well, let me draw it actually. You have this base, and this base. And you could see this base right here is directly on top of this base. But the way I drew it would be, the base would be like this, like in between this one and this one. So in between it, right? In between both of them. So, for example, if the price came up here, then it came down, and then it went up, right? And it's basically the same thing, except one's more bullish, one needs more time. So, given the fact that, this is how many cycles have we had now? 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, right? We've already had 3+ cycles, I guess you could say. So the more the cycles go on, the harder it is for the price to go up, right? The harder it is to push the price up, because the amount of market cap, liquidity, right? Bitcoin's between all-time high was what, 69K? So, for example, it was easy to push the price up back in here, right? A little bit harder, and now, we get up here. It really has to do with percentage terms, right? So, I mean, if you look at the percentage terms, they are weakening from here to here was the time to get rich in Bitcoin, right? 25,000%, right? Versus what? About 2,000% versus depending where you measure it, right? About 500% or so, or less than that. Though obviously I didn't. If you measure it from the all-time high to the top of the next all-time high, or to the low to the high, there's going to be obviously differences. But the point is, as the cycles go on, it gets more difficult to get those percentage terms. That's why I don't mess with Bitcoin like that. I'm not a big hodler or proponent of Bitcoin, right? The best time to hold Bitcoin would be in here, because percentage terms, Bitcoin doesn't go up that high. But same thing with the downside. Percentage terms, you don't lose that much either, right? So altcoins are, in my opinion, the place to be in when Bitcoin, already stalls out, right? So, when Bitcoin broke out, a lot of the altcoins didn't break out. But then when Bitcoin got in here, that's when a lot of the altcoins exploded. So, if you know how to time it and get in and get out of Bitcoin and get back into the alts, then more power to you. But for me, I'm just easier to just sit in the alts and just patiently wait, while at the same time having exposure to Bitcoin, and at the same time, swapping when need to be, right? If Bitcoin has a great day, altcoins don't, I can then swap, whatever. So anyways, guys, that should be it for this video. I think that's it. Not financial advice at all. I could be wrong. Always know that. So thank you guys for watching. And man, I can't believe it's already the year 2024. Crazy. The planet's been around what, millions of years, right? But we label it 2024. Kind of funny, huh? But as far as altcoins go, here's ADA, right? Still looking at ADA in a retracement. I don't think it's anywhere near where it needs to be. If I pull this down, we're not even at the 236 yet. I could see ADA. This is what I'm saying. This is like, why would I be in Bitcoin when ADA has such a bigger percentage? Not just ADA, but a lot of them, right? So where's that at? So if I pull a measurement from where we are now up to here, that's a good 200 to 300% right there. So, and Bitcoin's got what, another maybe 5-10% left in it. So I'm thinking the idea here is, right, pretending this is Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin stops and starts to chill out and consolidate and continue to, reaccumulation or whatever it's going to do, that's when the altcoins can catch up. And it doesn't take them weeks and weeks to catch up like Bitcoin does. They can happen in a matter of few days, right? So even XRP, right? THETA, look at THETA. THETA is primed. It looks beautiful. You have this beautiful base, beautiful bull run, perfect correction, and now you have your sideways base, and look at that. We're barely inching our way out. We have a good chance at getting way up here. Now again, the question becomes, what happens when we get here? Do we come down for reaccumulation, go sideways, then go? Is this an ABC? Or do we continue to break out? That's the question. But it doesn't matter, because right now we still have a lot more room to go. So it'll be interesting to see if and when THETA gets here, which I really think it's going to happen. Where's Bitcoin at? Where is Bitcoin when we are here? That's the question. So now if I look at something like an XRP BTC, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. But you can look at it possibly like Wyckoff accumulation, where this is your 1, 2, 3, and this is the spring. We take out that liquidity, we grab it in here, and then we go. Very good possibility there. That's one of the reasons I really like XRP, because I think XRP is already in that position. For example, we have a rise, crash, retrace. We're already in reaccumulation, and we already went sideways. So we're 2 steps ahead of everybody. When in reality, when we're 1 cycle behind. We're 1 cycle behind and 2 steps ahead, right? Because the rest of the market broke out into new all-time high. XRP did not. All it did was go into a retracement. That's the thing. Some coins broke out new all-time high, some went into retracement. That's where we are with Bitcoin. That's the question. Do we break out, or is this a retracement, right? I think eventually XRP will break out because it already had its rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation sideways, right? And now we're going to go. So I think any moment right in here is the big thing, right? Just like back down in here, where you sort of, you had this, this little channel, you broke below the channel, you grabbed that liquidity, then you went. Same thing over here, potentially, right? You have this little channel, right? So do we break out of the channel? Do we break below like the previous structure? Grab the liquidity, then go? Either way, I think it's looking good, right? Is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A, B, C, then we go? Very possible. And the point is regardless of what it is, I think we're very close. I mean, this thing's been going back over here 7 years in a big box. Look at that monster base. I don't think any chart out there looks like this, aside from XLM slightly, but this one, man, it is a monster base. Look at the base. Look how big that thing is. It's huge. So what does that mean is when we finally break out of this, we're going to have sustainability going forward. And you say, well, why is that? Because look at this. Look at how small that base was. Sideways is your friend. Sideways is accumulation. Sideways is good, right? Because this is building foundation. So when we break out, we build that foundation. And then we break out again, right? I believe XRP eventually will hit that 500 billion plus market cap, maybe up to $1 trillion and beyond that, right? Even though I think it's, going much more than that ultimately. So, well, let me just pull this here, Fibonacci. And remember, this is on log scale. So when I do this, it's going to look totally different, right? It's like not even going to make sense anymore. And it's all about your eyes, right? And look how big that is. But then if I zoom in down here, look how tiny that is, right? And it just went and went and went. And now look at this monster thing, right? So if I scrunch that all the way down like this, and then put the third base up here, right? Where does that get us? That gets it to about a $500 billion plus in market cap, thereabouts, right? So I take that off. I go back to log scale. I think that's a good target, a conservative target, and that would be about a $10 to $13 XRP, by the way. So you don't have to like XRP. You don't have to like the banker coin. You don't have to like anything about it. That's not what this is about, right? Even though I think it's good, great utility, right? I don't care if it's a banker coin. I think, hey, banks got money. Why not, right? I look at the fact that what chart looks the best, what has the most completed structure, what looks primed, what has the potential, what has been there, done that, what has, XRP Ripple's been through the storm. They went through the storm in the early days, the mid days. They went through the storm with the SEC. They've always came out on top. They're always consistent. They have the company Ripple to back them. They have all the connections. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I think it's a solid system they got built, and it never broke its all-time high, right? Never broke it, which tells me it's coming. And when it comes, I don't want to miss it. So that's why I'm hodling. So, anyways, if I had $1 million and I can buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin or $1 million worth of XRP, you guessed right. I would go all in on XRP. $1 million. Let's go. So, and it's all about percentage terms, right? In order for XRP to get back to its all-time high, that is about 413%. That's pretty big. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is, here's the all-time high I'm measuring from. Bitcoin is actually 135% above its all-time high. Think about that for a second. So XRP is 400% away from its all-time high. Bitcoin is 55% away from its previous all-time high, but it's also 135% away above its all-time high from where I measured it from XRP, right? So if Bitcoin breaks out and it goes to, say, 100,000, that's 125%. Or 130%. Let's say it goes to 200,000. That's about 350%. So think about that. So Bitcoin, $200,000, right? Equals about 350%. So if we go 350% for XRP, that doesn't even get us to the all-time high. I mean, guys, it's right there in front of your face. I mean, for the people who don't know, it's just like, wow, I can't believe it. People are so saturated in Bitcoin, and it makes no sense to me. I don't care about Bitcoin or XR. I mean, I do, but I look at percentages. Percentages matter over everything, right? So what's more likely? XRP getting near its all-time high from 2018, 2017, or Bitcoin going all the way from 50,000 or 45,000 rather, all the way to $200,000. What's more likely? I mean, come on. I think what's more likely is XRP breaking out and going all the way up to between $8 and $10 to $13. So let's say it gets to $9, $9.50. Well, that's about let's see. That's about 1,500% from where we are. Okay, so let's go to Bitcoin. Let's go up 1,500% and let's see where that is. 1,500%. Wow, that is 718. That's almost $1 million Bitcoin. Well, not quite, but it's basically $720,000 Bitcoin. Wow, that's incredible. Now, what's more likely? $720,000 Bitcoin or XRP breaking out into new all-time high and doing a simple 4.236 Fibonacci extension, just like Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, just like all the other coins that did it, ADA, right? Look how big the base is, right? Look how big the base is. XRP's base starts from here and it extends all the way to here. But Bitcoin's base only extended to here. So, you know, but then, the I guess the only argument people would have, it would be the fundamental aspect. Yeah, it's not Bitcoin, and XRP is an S coin, and this and that and this and that. And, that's the argument. But at the end of the day, the chart doesn't lie. So until the chart proves otherwise, I'll be glad to say, because until then, XRP is right here. XRP is the equivalent of Bitcoin at 8,000.